They'll deny it. You bet your golden flakes they will. But when Saturday arrives, and the first of the final 3 college football regular season weekends begins, officials in the big, bad SEC will have one of many monitors in the war room of the league offices turned to what's unfolding in Columbus, Ohio. If number 2 Ohio State blows out unbeaten underdog number 5 Indiana, the odds of the SEC landing 5 teams in the first ever 12-team college football playoff increase dramatically. But if the Hoosiers win or even keep it close, then Birmingham, we have a problem. There are 6 CFP-worthy SEC teams, and unless Penn State stumbles against Minnesota or Maryland or Indiana gets blown out by Ohio State, 4 SEC teams will likely make the field. It's bad enough that the CFP selection committee largely ignores the strength of schedule, ranking Penn State and Indiana, with a combined 1 win against teams in the CFP rankings, in the top 5. It's worse that the committee has shown a clear preference for number 3 Texas, which has played only one other top 6 SEC team and lost by 15 at home to Georgia. Alabama beat Georgia, which beat Tennessee, which beat Alabama, and Ole Miss beat Georgia, which beat Texas, which hasn't beaten anyone of note. Get it? Meanwhile, there's the 13-member selection committee, which includes 6 athletic directors and 4 former coaches, who value one-loss teams and unbeaten Indiana above all else. The difficulty of schedule? They could care less. Indiana, the darling of the CFP rankings, has any power 4 teams' worst strength of schedule. We watch games, and we see how teams are playing, said Selection Committee Chairman and Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel, who admitted that the eye test is everything. Watching the teams and games carries the day for most of us. Let's take a closer look at some overvalued and undervalued teams in the CFP rankings. Overvalued teams. Number 4 Penn State. Best win, number 25 Illinois. Worst loss, number 2 Ohio State. This week, at Minnesota. Penn State has just 2 wins over Power 4 teams with winning records, Illinois and Washington. Their near loss at Southern California, and the 4 failed plays against Ohio State with the game on the line should stick in the committee's mind. Number 6 Notre Dame. Best win, number 15 Texas A&M. Worst loss, Northern Illinois. This week, number 19 Army at Yankee Stadium. If Notre Dame loses to Army or USC, it will drop out of the top 12. Their ACC-heavy schedule, with games against service academies and MAC schools, isn't impressive enough to justify their number 6 ranking. Number 8 Miami. Best win, Louisville. Worst loss, Georgia Tech. This week, versus Wake Forest. Miami's schedule is as weak as Indiana's. The Hurricanes have needed multiple second-half comebacks to defeat teams like Virginia Tech, California, Louisville, and Duke. Their resume pales compared to any of the 6 SEC teams. Undervalued teams. Number 9 Mississippi. Best win, number 10 Georgia. Worst loss, Kentucky. This week, at Florida. Ole Miss is 4th in the nation in scoring offense and 5th in scoring defense. The Rebels are the only team in the country ranked in the top 5 in both categories and lead the nation in sacks. Who wants to face them in the playoffs? Number 10 Georgia. Best win, number 3 Texas. Worst loss, number 9 Ole Miss. This week, versus Massachusetts. Georgia's worst loss was to the hottest team in the nation, and their second loss was to number 7 Alabama. With wins over top teams like Texas, Tennessee, and Clemson, Georgia's resume far outshines that of Penn State, Indiana, or Miami. Number 12 Boise State. Best win, number 24 UNLV. Worst loss, number 1 Oregon. This week, at Wyoming. Boise State almost pulled off the upset against number 1 Oregon, needing a punt return for a touchdown, a kick return for a touchdown, and a last-second field goal to lose by just a point. They deserve more recognition than they're getting. If the selection committee shifts its focus and stops overvaluing teams with soft schedules and unbeaten records, the SEC could greatly benefit in the final stretch.